And I'll start with you, Mr. Doerflinger. Absent the enactment of HR3, what does a healthcare provider risk if the provider obeys his or her conscience and refuses to perform an abortion?
Well, I don't want to overstate this, Mr. Chairman, because in my view, HR3 basically codifies and makes more permanent protection that has long been in law. The problem is that, and this was illustrated in one case in New York very recently, the existing conscience laws aren't very clear on what it is you do to actually protect your rights. And so a nurse by the name of DiCarlo, Mount Sinai Medical Center in New York, recently found that although she was forced to participate in a late-term abortion, after having her statement accepted by initially by the hospital staff that she would not be required to assist in these abortions, she was forced anyway. She was given the job of reassembling the body parts on a table in the operating room to make sure they got all the pieces of the baby. She had nightmares ever since, had a terrible time, and she was told that she would be fired if she didn't do this. And what she found was when she went to court, that because the federal conscience laws don't have anything in them that say you have a private right of action to go to court, she had no recourse. All she could do is file a complaint with the Department of Health and Human Services, and a year and a half after the abortion, she still has not heard from them. The cases in which there continue to be efforts to get governmental bodies to discriminate against pro-life healthcare providers occur almost every week, and there was a recent case here in my hometown, Montgomery County, in which Holy Cross Hospital seems to be on course now, approved by the state of Maryland to build a new hospital in northern Montgomery County because it made the best case for being able to provide excellent care to the women and men of the county. But there was a very serious effort by abortion activists to say, you must not give this contract to Holy Cross Hospital, you must give it to someone else, even if their general health care proposal is not as good, because if you give it to Holy Cross, you will not have access to abortions through the hospitals up there. So these efforts to discriminate against healthcare providers on this basis occur all the time, and we're just trying to make sure the protection is actually there and is working.
Mr. Doerflinger, there was a controversy in 2007 and 2008 concerning the extent of conscience protections for healthcare workers, specifically changes in the ethics guidelines propounded by ACOG, that's American Congress of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, and changes in the certifying criteria for the certifying agency of OBGYNs, that's ABOG. There's all of these acronyms, American Board of Obstetrics and Gynecology. And it caused physicians to question whether a refusal to perform an abortion can result in decertification, ending their career, actually. Would you explain this controversy and how it led to the conscience regulations put in place at the end of the Bush administration?
Yes, the Ethics Committee opinion from the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists came out in 2007, but despite all the controversy, was reaffirmed by the organization in 2010. And what really sent a chill of fear across many OBGYNs throughout the country who do not perform abortions is that very often the ethical principles articulated by ACOG become standards for certification as an OBGYN by the partner organization, the American Board of OBGYN. And so this was one of the reasons why the Bush administration decided to try to clarify regulations to uphold these providers' rights, regulations which the Obama administration has proposed to rescind. But the ACOG document is breathtaking in its disregard for any OBGYN who doesn't want to do abortions. They say that these OBGYNs must nonetheless be willing to refer for abortions. If there's no one to refer them to, they must do them themselves. And they even said that if you're an OBGYN who does not abortions, you should make sure you locate your practice near an abortion provider to make sure that it's easy for everybody to get from you to the abortion. So you have, I mean, one talks about the tail wagging the dog. This is the tick on the tail of the dog wagging the entire healthcare system, saying people have to disrupt their lives and livelihoods and change even where they practice to make sure they're as close as possible to an abortionist.